So it's very nice and a relaxed engine in the bottom rev ranges, and when it comes to the mid RPM you have the full throttle. I can show you that. So there are certain differences from the Adventure 390 when it comes to the Adventure 250. Does the Adventure 250 misses those things? Let me honestly share my opinion about that. What's up YouTube? Welcome to the detailed review of the Adventure 250. So the wait was so long, but I have to say that the wait was worth it because I got a chance to ride this motorcycle for quite some time, and by now I have to say that I've got a good grip on this motorcycle. So yes, picked up 2 days ago. Within 2 days itself I have to say that I just got adjusted to this ergonomics and the engine much quickly, very faster. And to be honest, I have to say that you might be knowing that I'm a huge fan of the KTM Duke 250. So the same engine coming onto the Adventure platform is like just lit. I'm not going to do a bias review on this motorcycle. So basically, yes, I always wish to have the 250 on a touring platform, and that has happened. And now to say that I got a huge confidence on this motorcycle, riding it inside city or on the highway and all, and I'm truly loving it. So yes, looking on the motorcycle, it's always a beautiful looking motorcycle. I wish KTM could work out something on this head part for the Adventure 390 as well as 250, because it looks a little outstanding from that whole body work. If you look at the 1290 GT and all, I mean, what a wonderful machine, man. It just flows like that. But on the 390 and the 250, especially these kind of adventure motorcycles, the headlight looks a little projected from the body, that's all. But definitely it looks good. And the 250 comes in gloss finish. That's what I like in this motorcycle. I'm not a huge fan of matte finish motorcycles. It's very hard to maintain as well, but the gloss finish motorcycles always shine like that, look wise and all. It's a proudly standing KTM. So this is the same chassis, same setup, same suspension, everything same from the Adventure 390, except the fact that the engine is different and there are few other electronics also which is not coming onto this motorcycle. So walking around, it has got good road presence, and the build quality also is like very nice. There are no unattended wires or any welding issues as of now that have came to my notice. And swinging the leg over, for me it's a slightly taller motorcycle. You can see that I don't have completely planted foot on both sides. I'm kind of tiptoeing, but the reach towards the handlebar and everything is really nice. It feels the handlebar is a bit close to the body, and you have slightly that kind of a racing supermoto kind of a feel coming out of this handlebar. So wide handlebar, which I like. And looking onto the dash, this is something which is different from the Adventure 390. I really don't complain about anything on that, because I personally feel there shouldn't be so much of colors and everything on the dash, because you're not going to enjoy the things and the colors on the dash. You'll be always concentrating on the road when you're going for a ride. I mean, if this is doing the purpose, I really don't have any complaints on it. So looking onto the dial, what we can see over here is the speedometer, the time, the tachometer, the fuel level indicator, the heat level indicator, trip meter, and the details of the trip meters when you press this switch, which is like the average speed, average fuel consumption, fuel range, I mean the tank range, 2 trip meters. You can turn off the ABS on the rear wheel. So basically you have everything that you can ask for in this dial. And looking onto the handlebar, we have all basic switches here. I think I don't have to walk through anything here. So one of the main difference from the 390 is that this comes with a mechanical throttle. On the Adventure 390 it comes with the ride-by-wire throttle. And I forgot to mention one thing, the seating of this motorcycle. So the seat is really wide, really flat. You'll get a feel that you are sitting on a broad chair. You can easily accommodate an XL size butt. Really comfortable. The cushioning is kind of average. I really don't have any complaints with it, but since it is wide, you can adjust yourself and sit on the motorcycle if you're going for really long tours. And looking at the pillion seat also, equally comfortable. The grab rails actually sits a bit outside. I don't know whether you love it or not, but to be honest, I have to say that this grab rail will be helping you when you go out for long tours, especially when you have to mount your panniers or if you have to tie your luggage, saddlebags and all. It's really nice. So let's ride it. It's summer season, so it's getting a little hot here. Wow, what a feel. Dust smoking there behind. So it's really fun to take it on off-road. I'll talk about the engine after reaching the main road. So we have open road here. I'm not going to pull it hard this time. I just want to show you something else. So you might have noticed now, the motorcycle is so sane. It's not the same motorcycle which I launched back from there, dusting that ground. What I can see is that this motorcycle, always in my Duke 250 video as well, I have told that this motorcycle, the engine has a dual character. The low end of this motorcycle is not that punchy. I don't want to call it as less punchy or lethargic and all. What I say is that the low end is rightly tuned for the city use. You can aramse ride this motorcycle inside city without much push and pull from the engine and all, unlike the 200 or the 390s. So it's very nice and a relaxed engine in the bottom rev ranges, and when it comes to the mid RPM, you have the full throttle. I can show you that. The mid rev ranges as well as the top rev range, it gives you a really nice feeling. So since there is a dual character for the engine, I'll say that we have to look very closely when we take it to off-roads inside city as well as highway. So when I was doing off-roads, I have to always keep my throttle open, or I have to manage that mid RPMs all the time and get it down to the high rev ranges, balance the clutch and have fun. So that's how we ride for off-road on the Adventure 250. And when it comes to the city, I was trying to maintain a sane speed. I wasn't speeding at all. I was nicely cruising. I cannot say I was cruising. I really said cruising because I was not stopping anywhere on the road because the suspension handles really well. So there is absolutely no problem running over through bad roads. So in that sense, the bottom rev ranges feels like a really saner motorcycle where you can ride it inside city. And when it comes to the highway, just be on the mid RPMs and you can really cruise on this motorcycle from a speed of 90 to 100 km/h. So that's the feedback from the engine. And one noticeable thing is that there is a slight amount of buzz coming from the engine to the foot peg. So this engine can literally do 135, 140 and all. I've done that once. But the comfortable speed on this motorcycle is something from 80 to 100 km/h. This motorcycle is really engaging enough to ride it in 120, but you will feel that tickling feel under your boots. I can feel that on my boots itself. Absolutely a beautiful engine for highway cruising. So when it comes to the ergonomics, I have already mentioned, the seat is wide and flat. You can comfortably sit. The handlebar feels a little lowered when you compare with other adventure motorcycles, not the 390, but if you compare it with the Himalayan and all, the handlebar feels a little lowered. If you can get a taller handlebar, then you might be a little more comfortable using it on the highway as well as off-road. But I really don't say that you'll be forced to buy a raised handlebar, because I remember riding the 390 Adventure on the same road and I was feeling the same, that I should have a taller handlebar. So yes, you need a taller handlebar when you stand on the foot peg and ride on the highways, okay? So with my height itself, my reach towards the handlebar is not that great. So I don't have a good grab as well from my knees onto the tank. But this is not how you ride on the stock motorcycle. If you have to ride on the stock motorcycle, put a little bit of lean angle and stand on that. So this gives a little more aggressive off-roading position for you. So put a taller handlebar, it will be really nice for highways. Taller handlebar also will help you for off-roads. If you have the stock handlebar, you have a bit of a racy riding stance for off-roads. So that's my take on that. The foot peg is underneath the rider, so it's again a comfortable riding posture, and you can relax your legs like this if you want. So even if you are a tall rider, you won't be getting any cramps or something like that sitting on the motorcycle. But if you are a short rider, you will be having trouble in getting on the motorcycle because it's a slightly taller motorcycle, that's all. But don't worry, the motorcycle is really light. It's not heavy at all. Once you get the balance on the motorcycle, the height is nothing. You can comfortably ride this motorcycle, no doubt. And when it comes to the gearbox on the clutch feel is very light. I really loved it. And surprisingly, the gear shift on the motorcycle is like absolutely wonderful. Brilliant gearbox. It gives you a feel that you are changing to the next gear, like tuck tuck tuck. Really crisp. It's really nice to have something like this on an adventure motorcycles. Generally what I've seen is that adventure motorcycles has a bit of a hard gear shifts. So on this one, it's on the flip side. It has absolutely precise gear shifting, so I really love that. And of course, this is an adventure motorcycle, so you won't be facing any ground clearance issues and all. And yes, there's a little bit of heating, but I'll say that once the motorcycle is rolling, there is absolutely nothing to fear about having heating issues and all, because the heat is coming onto the inner knees and inner thighs and all, and it's not too much and all. When you really go in bumper to bumper traffic, this is slight heating, which is quite understandable from a high revving engine like this. And this motorcycle comes with the same suspension setup that you see on the Adventure 390, which is like really nice. It's really great for taking to off-roads and using it as well as on the highway. So if you're trying to ride it very slow, you'll feel that the suspension is a little bit tight. But the thing is, if you're riding over bad roads in a decent speed, you won't really feel that the suspension is tight, because the suspension takes everything so neatly, you won't be having any trouble with that. And the confidence from the current tire is like kind of okay. It comes with MRF rubber now. I feel that Metzeler or something more sticky will give you more comfortable ride when you do some amount of cornering or when you ride in the rain. But this tire is absolutely fun to take it on off-roads. I'm not talking about wet off-roads, dry off-road. So there are certain differences from the Adventure 390 when it comes to the Adventure 250. Does the Adventure 250 misses those things? Let me honestly share my opinion about that. So this motorcycle misses the quick shifter as well as the traction control. So I really don't see a need for having a traction control on this motorcycle. Once you have a throttle control, don't worry about it. You can easily control this motorcycle and ride this motorcycle comfortably. So no need of a traction control for this one. And when it comes to the quick shifter, yes, it's an added advantage when you go out on the highway. But if you're getting the same quick shifters that you see on the Adventure 390, I'll say that don't worry about it. You are not missing too much on this motorcycle. And another one is the TFT dash that you see on the Adventure 390. Again, this captures everything that you want to see. But if you are someone who really love to see TFT screen and all those colors on the screen, then yes, of course you'll be using it. But if you are having my logic where things are there and you have to keep your eyes on the road, then I'll say that it's okay, man. You can easily live with this dash. It's quite readable. It has all required information. And ride-by-wire throttle is something missing from the Adventure 390. That I will feel that the throttle is not that laggy. Ride-by-wire is more precise. That's what I can say. So that's one major thing. And of course the engine on this motorcycle is from the 250, which has that dual character which I already told. So that's the major differences from the Adventure 390. So now decide yourself whether you need all those things. Then you have to pump that 75k to 80k extra money to go to the 390. The 390 also exactly similar in riding it, except the fact that it has a bit more engaging engine, and plus the rear sprocket on the 390 is a bigger one compared to this one, so it's a bit more engaging. And coming to the ownership aspects of this motorcycle comes for around 3,70,000 rupees on road in Bangalore. And the service interval is something like the first service is obviously at 1,000 kilometers, and from then once in 7,500 kilometers, and a paid service will be costing something like 3,000 rupees, which is not bad looking at the service interval. And you can expect a mileage of around 30 kilometers per liter on an average. So that's what I heard from the service center. You see that? I love this. It gives a different feel as such when you go past that mid RPM. So let's see what kind of riders fit onto this motorcycle. Obviously I have to say that this motorcycle fits my character completely, because I really don't ride my motorcycle too much aggressively all the time, and I really don't ride lethargic all the time as well. So this has that dual character. So if you're riding inside city and you want a sane motorcycle, you want power only when you ring it, not by just leaving the clutch, then absolutely a good motorcycle for your city use. And if you're having a lot of broken roads inside your city, definitely the suspension will be handling the bad roads, and the heating is not that much, don't worry about it. And if you're looking for a highway tourer, especially to tour with your pillion, really a nice motorcycle to look for. Because the cruising speed is something like, as I told, 100 km per hour, which is decent for a 250cc ADV. I'm pretty sure that if KTM can work on that slide bus which comes to the foot peg, then certainly this can carry a speed of 120 km per hour, which will be very nice for this engine. And when it comes to off-road, I have to say that I really love it. I have mixed opinions about the handlebars, as I mentioned before. Sometimes I feel like I should have a taller handlebar. Sometimes I feel like not having a taller handlebar, because I get a slightly sporty riding stance for off-roads. So that's my take on the KTM Adventure 250, and I'm really thankful to KTM Mekhri Circle for giving this motorcycle for this long. So thank you guys. I hope this video is helpful for you, and if you have any doubts about this motorcycle comparing with any other ADVs in the segment, let me know in the comment section. If I know about it, definitely I'll be replying to you. So as always, show some love in the form of likes and comments. See you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.